Hello, it is me, Andrew. That is Ryan. Welcome back to Dorty Talk podcast. What's up, Ryan? How are you doing?
How is all getting on? What's up, man? It's been a while. It's been
Well,
a week.
You're diseased. We're not even gonna waste fucking time. I'm so jacked up for this right now. You're diseased right now.
Yes.
Let's get into it. Give us a deep breath.
Man, I actually can't. It was the laugh, man. I feel like every time I come on this podcast, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, like mentally
it,
always, but
was
physically now.
What was up with me? There was like me teeth. I had to go to the dentist, and then what else was wrong with me? Oh, I had an ear infection.
You had an ear infection.
That was episode 1 for
for the OGs, for the
OGs, for
the real gangsters. No one's a gangster listening to this podcast. Sorry, guys.
But interesting development to everyone out there. Yeah, I got pleurisy this week.
I'm fucking mad.
I don't how. I have absolutely no idea.
Like, you surely talked to the doctor.
Yeah, I've absolutely no idea how this developed. Yeah, it was Thursday evening. Like, I went the whole day. I did my usual thing, walk my dog, all that stuff, and I was grand. It was after dinner. I noticed this like pain in my shoulder, and I just thought I'd pulled something, like, you know. And I was like, "What?" It just felt uncomfortable, you know. And then, Thursday, and then I did something really stupid where I decided to record a Lego video. I'll do that, which I don't usually do in the evening. I usually do them in the afternoon or in the morning just to get the. But I was like, I'm going to do them now, and I sat in my little wicker chair that I have in all my videos and like hunched over building a set, and it was a big set. So there's a big set to come, guys, next week. Keep a lookout.
Exciting.
Spent 2 hours making the thing.
Christ.
So which is probably a bad idea. And then after, I felt so uncomfortable then in my shoulders and everything.
Yeah.
And then it kind of got progressively worse. And then Friday and Saturday got really bad, and it was all down my back and in like my side. Every time when I like took a deep breath, it would fucking kill me, you know. And if I'd cough or if I'd laugh even, it would hurt like. And I was like, oh, and then I got deep heat, and I got some other stuff in my back, and it just wasn't working. So I was like, okay, I don't think this is muscular anymore. I think there's actually something wrong here. So called the doctor. Couldn't go to my doctor. I just called him and explained all the symptoms, and he was like, yeah, sounds like pleurisy, which I thought it was. And I'm on some anti-inflammatories now because it's a viral infection, and there's nothing for that.
Yeah.
So he says it might be just inflamed, and that's the only thing we can give you.
Don't you just like have that now? Like, you just have pleurisy now.
Yeah, apparently.
I don't think it's just like there's not a cure. Like, it just kind of sticks around.
It just kind of fucking floats about, yeah.
Yeah.
But, call the doctor. I was like, I better call. I fucking hate going to the doctor's, guys. It's just something I don't like. I call the doctor.
That's a man-child thing.
60 quid for a phone call consultation. 60 fucking euro. Now, doctor was dead sound. Shout out to, I can't remember your name. Shout out to that guy.
Out to the doctor if you're listening.
He was so cool. He was like,
what you tell him? Did you tell them about your podcast?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about doing my podcast, bro.
Oh yeah.
He had that kind of like Indian, Bangladesh kind of that type of Asian accent.
You've no fucking idea what that accent is.
Yeah,
Indian, Bangladesh.
That area. You know that
okay,
area.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
But I don't want to. I'm not discriminating, but he was so cool.
I love when I get the. It's not even Middle Eastern, is it? I know what you mean. Is it South Pacific or South Asian? No, I don't know anything. Yeah. I don't know anything, but I do know what you mean. Was he like kind of like just really chill, really nice, like kind of like calming voice, kind of vibe?
And he was talking to you, and he's like, so like I was walking my dog, and he's like, oh, so you get exercise, good man. And I was like, you smoke? I was like, man,
because you walked in and he was like, look at this fat son of a bitch.
And I was like, do you smoke? And I was like, no. And he's like, good man.
Man, fair play to you. And you're just there like,
so he was so cool. So shout out to him. Also, this happened to me. This happened like Easter weekend, where like everywhere's closed, and it's like, you know, it was like,
yeah. Did you call the D-Doc or just your own doc?
Yeah, D-Doc. I had to go to the fucking D-Doc.
D-Doc's such ass though.
Yeah, shit, man. That's why I was like, I don't want to go to these clowns. But he was
these clowns, these medical professionals.
Receptionist, on the other hand, was a bitch. Fuck you, receptionist, if you're listening to this.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. It's one or the other. You know, it's either the doctor's super nice and the receptionist is awful. That's not true. I'm just asserting that now. I'm a journalist. I say what is news. Let's go.
But no, I should be all right. Give me a week. I should be all recovered, man. Ready for next week. We're actually recording this late. We usually record this on a Sunday. It's now Monday even. We're
I
recording this
know.
because you texted me last night being like, Ryan, it's Sunday. Are we doing this? And I was like, I can't really breathe.
No, but to be fair, I texted you yesterday at like 10:30, being like,
Yeah.
today is Sunday.
Yeah.
Which
I
I
meant
have
to text you
just
and I completely forgot.
honestly, it took until 10:30 for me to realize it was Sunday.
Mhm.
So I can't really put that on you. And in fairness, you've got like the STDs of lungs right now.
Literally.
Of the STD of lung afflictions right now.
But no, I'm feeling a lot better today. It doesn't hurt as much. I'm a bit more comfortable. So I was like, I'm doing nothing else. I'm bored. I'll call my boy.
You've got lung herpes, like
that's literally the
you've got like lung herpes. Like, where are you putting this Dorty little lungs just breathing in any air around the town? Is it?
Yeah, man, that's exactly what it feels like. Lung herpes. That's
lung herpes. Wait, are you familiar with actual herpes to compare?
I'd rather not get into that on this episode.
I'd love to get into that. That's fair enough. Actually, this would work as a good segue, which I must announce into one of the topic ideas I had that I wrote down, because this is a very professional podcast. So Ryan, if you're done, are you done with your spiel?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm kind of bored. Okay. Now I'm sure people are bored hearing about it.
Yeah, so. Fuck your lungs. Like, you like that? You like that? You like that? You fucking bitch. Now, what's the most painful experience you have within memory?
Painful?
Yeah.
Oh, like, are you talking about like emotionally painful, or are you talking about like?
I don't really actually no, because that's kind of cringe, and we're men and we do not have emotions.
Because if it's
that's switched off.
It is emotional. That could be its own fucking episode, man. I have a whole
the emotional scarring I've got up my heart, man.
I have an Excel spreadsheet of like emotion, like by date, and it's colorized and everything by
like, and how long I cried right after the event. No, we'll keep it, I guess lighter and just physical pain.
Do you have one up your sleeve? And if you tell, I'll be thinking about one. If you
Ryan, I do have one up my sleeve. I'm really happy you asked me that.
Because like we spring each other. Because I know.
Because that's why I brought up the fucking topic, you dumbass. Why else would I? This is an opportunity to talk about myself. Podcast is an ego stroking. All right, get used to it. Now, I do. Remember, I did the Camino de Santiago.
Oh, gee, yeah.
Okay,
I did. I was smart.
Now you were smart. Okay, so basically, and lazy. I don't know why. I think I'd never been to Spain. And fat. I'd never been to Spain, but it was the worst part of Spain. So I don't know what my plan was. Basically, for anyone who doesn't know, the Camino is like a pilgrimage. I don't know if it's like Catholic or Christian based and or exclusive to that religion, but it's basically a pilgrimage. You walk like several hundred kilometers just up a part of Spain. I think it's the end of it or the start of it, I don't know, is a city called Santiago. Well, that's what the airport is. I can't remember now. It was kind of a blur. It was just heat and pain. So we didn't do the whole thing because I was with a class group and they didn't want us to die. So we did 135 kilometers in like 5 days, which was still awful because it was like 20 kilometers a day. And before that, I'd probably walk a maximum of like 2 meters a day. So, first couple of days were great. I say great. First, it was all terrible physically, but it was very fun somehow. So the first day was just like straight, like we got into the city, we got a coach down to whatever little village. And then like the first part of the walking was just like pretty much 90-degree angle going up fucking mountains, loose rock, fucking like river paths. So that was kind of sus. Anyway, as time went on, I won't go on about it too long. I had these boots from Aldi. So they had told us, now guys, make sure you have some excellent footwear that's well broken in because you're gonna get uncomfortable, blah blah blah. So I took that inside of myself, Ryan, and then I thought to myself, I'm gonna wear those boots from Aldi that I've literally never worn. and the first wearing of them will be on this Camino. So they're cheap ass boots, and I haven't broken them in. So as a result,
we did a hike in
yeah,
school, and
yeah,
we did a hike, and it was only short, like it was only like 20 something kilometers, like it's nothing compared to the Camino.
yeah.
And they recommended all the clothes to wear, and they said like wear comfy tracksuit bottoms or some shit. To anyone out there, I don't actually own tracksuit bottoms. Oh wait, I do. I did at the time.
Ryan,
I just didn't
even your
own tracksuit bottoms.
shorts used to be like denim shorts. We were
Yeah,
always just like, why are you like this?
I only wear jeans, and even strictly when I go outside, it's only jeans. And I forgot. I just kept forgetting to go and buy a pair, to the point where I was like, "Oh fuck, the Camino's tomorrow and I have body jeans." So I was like, "Oh, I'll be grand in the jeans. I'll be grand." I arrived, and teacher's like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" And
Yeah.
not the Camino. I didn't.
The hike.
And it's like, "What the hike?" I was like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" I was like, "I'll be grand, man." That was awful. Man,
what were you just wearing? Your tracky bottoms?
No, I was just wearing jeans.
Oh, you did wear like a fucking dumbass, jeans. Like walking up like a hill.
Of me on that.
And you're just like getting chafed to bits, like your leg hair. Your leg hair is just getting slowly grated off your lower shin. You know?
That was some. Anyway, continue with your Aldi boots.
So anyway, as it went on in days, I think about day 2 or 3, it started really going to shit. So the point was that we'd walk 20 kilometers and then we could stay at a hostel. So by the time we got to like the third hostel, and obviously we stay there for the night, get up in the morning again and go. So by like the third hostel, I was fucking prying my shoes off, as in I was unlacing them and then getting my fingers in around the side and just kind of pulling at them and like trying to slide my feet out because they were so tender. So it came to the point where I started developing blisters, and I had, no joke, like by the end of it, I had 5 blisters on each foot. And then as a result, then I was trying to compensate for the blisters on my feet. So my knees started giving out because I was walking in such like I looked like I had like a mental condition the way I was walking, and or like stone feet. So I was then given a crutch by another classmate, and then I was on 2 crutches trying to do it until do you remember Mr. Shanaher?
I do.
Shout out to Mr. Shanaher. He has no hair.
Absolute legend.
I remember one time I was so frustrated with him because I was like very late to one of the hostels, and he was like, "Look who decided to fucking join us," and I couldn't think of anything clever, and I was like, 17? So I went, "Oh, look who's still fucking bald." He was our yearhead. Like, I swear to God, what happened on the Camino stayed on the Camino.
What a man!
I said to him, I was like, "Look, he's still fucking bald. Can you go back inside? The shine off of your head is blinding me." And like him and the other teachers, I think it was Mr. O'Loughlin, I can't remember the woman's name. She's very nice though. But they just like started laughing. And then it wasn't until I was in the shower then I was like, I just called my yearhead a bald prick. Anyway, so yeah, so my foot, I was absolutely fucked. And then my teacher was like, "Listen, man, you're dying a death. Do you want to get a taxi for the last bit? Like, no one's gonna judge you." And I was like, "No, I'm not a bitch." Now, little did I and the teacher knew, no, I was absolutely a bitch. But I kept going anyway. And yeah, I made it. I made Santiago. I was like, oh, there was one thing which was really weird. So, not that they'd be listening to this, but Daria and Monica, 2 Polish girls that we used to, I don't know, talk. They were classmates. And they were fucking weird. They were lovely women, but they're a little bit fucking weird. So to the point where at one of the hostels, I was trying to like just clean my feet and try and pop the blisters. And they offered to do that for me, which was sus, like upon recollection. But at the time I was like, please God. So sitting there with my legs akimbo, just 2 of them spread out. And I have 2 blonde, beautiful blonde Polish women just poking at my feet with needles, trying to pop the blisters, and then like rejoicing in the ooze coming out. And I thought to myself, is this porn? Am I setting up a porn?
You've made it.
Am I setting it? You know? Like, is this a porn scenario? So anyway, that's it.
Them Poles can't be trusted, man.
Oh jeez, you can't say that.
Yeah, you can, man. Over here, working hard, making us all look lazy.
So okay.
They come over here.
Nice save.
Work, putting us all to shame. That's it, man.
Popping blisters. Yeah.
That's it.
POLLS. Not Polish people, because we love everyone. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That was a long fucking story, and I got interrupted. But that was my most painful experience. Now, do you have one to counter, or are you still drawing a blank?
I have one.
Go.
I was in like first year,
Mm-hmm.
and I had one of my mates over my house, and I had like a sofa bed. This is only a short one, guys. This is quite like Andrew's Camino fucking 130. Anyway,
Essay.
yeah, I had a sofa bed in my room, and I thought it was the shit. And I mean, I used to like you used to come over and we used to play games and shit.
We did Minecraft.
And back in the day, Minecraft,
I love Minecraft.
Warface. Remember Warface?
Oh my god, Warface. Ryan, do you have your Warface on right now? What is that like?
To anyone who doesn't know what Warface is, it was a game. It was amazing, and then it was like a demo, and then it just never actually got. It was like a beta, sorry, and it never actually came into production.
I think it's like an actual game now, but don't quote me on that.
But it just got cancelled. It was the best game I've ever played.
Anyway, I've never played in my life.
Completely sidetracking.
Go. Pain.
So anyway, I was putting away this bed, and the way it was, there was like a gap, like it was like a little bit off the ground. And I remember going to slide my foot under it, and I slid my foot under it, but like my toenail didn't come with it, and got caught on the fucking. Both feet related. I'm only realizing this now.
That's making me like wince more than the 10 blisters.
Mm-hmm. And then my whole toenail clean off, man.
Oh, I think I remember this. Did you tell me this?
Fucking up. Yeah, and then you accidentally stood on my foot and school.
Oh, I did do that. Oh no!
And it was an accident, like, but oh my god, it was like the next day. It was the one day.
It was like that. It was like for like a week. Yeah, you just had like a fucked up toe, and I think it was just like we were in lunch in the locker area, and I was just like trying to step past you or something, and I just stepped on your toe by mistake, and I was just like, I have never been so nice to you as when I was just in that like 10-second period of like, holy shit, man, I'm so fucking sorry. Are you okay? Do you need me to get you anything?
But yeah, absolutely clean off, man. I'll never forget, like that
fucking
was
hell.
awful.
That's so not toenails shit just makes me shudder.
Yeah,
I absolutely hate it. Man.
That was awful. And then there was one other I can think of when I was a kid, and me and my mates were doing this like lap around the green on our bikes, you know. And then I was flying around, and I was winning. I'd like to point out I was fucking winning.
I was winning,
and I was a good bit ahead, and I was coming up, and I was stupid, going like fucking 100 miles an hour on this bike, and no helmet on or anything because I was cool. Anyone out there, any kids when I was a kid, anyone who used to wear a helmet like below the age of like 10, fucking losers.
I love that. Any kids listening, if there are any kids listening, please stop. Please get parental guidance.
Don't wear your helmet. Bunch of virgins.
Bunch of virgins.
That's it, man. That's it.
Losers. I do remember that though. The toe. Jesus Christ. That was so raunchy.
Anyway, I never wore a helmet as a kid anyway. So I'm going around this thing and I'm miles ahead in the lead. And me being fucking stupid, I'm like looking to see who's behind me and who's in second, like how far I am ahead. And I turn around and I go fucking straight into this pole.
Oh.
And
the pole's at it again.
The poles, man. This is it. The poles back to haunt me, bro. The poles.
they hated your earlier comment and they're coming back.
Fuck the poles. Anyway, so I'm going and I fly into this like, what do they call it? The lighting pole. What are they called? Street lamps.
Street lamps.
I fly into that and I hit a curb then as well. And I go flying over the fucking handlebars. And I like completely fucking like what's that called? Like slide along the concrete. My whole face just slides. My whole face is fucking covered in blood. Nice. That was awful.
That sounds pretty gnarly. That's a bit worse than the toe, maybe. You probably should.
No, man, the toe. Man, the toe with the was definitely worse.
It's like I remember one time as well. This is a quick one. I remember I was like when I was a kid, my grandparents had like one of those reclining couches, and because I was a weird kid, I just like put my appendages in shit. So I just put my foot like in the gap between the two recliners, you know what I mean? And my foot was there, and then my granny she was sitting beside me and she got up and it like clamped down some mechanism on my toe and properly like sliced my toe and nearly cut off a toe.
Oh jeez.
And my mom was never told about that because she said the reclining chair is dangerous or something.
It is, man. They're a death trap.
Seriously, I mean, think about the inner mechanism. Like,
oh my, they're a death trap, man.
Oh, I nearly lost a toe to a fucking couch. Like, that would have been the worst.
The amount of turtles that are decapitated every year by them fucking reclining chairs, man.
Okay.
That's true.
Do you have? I'm gonna take your word for it. I don't think you have it. Do you have a statistic ready?
I don't have the stats in front.
1
of me
in 4
right now.
turtles will have their
I'm gonna make
heads
it up,
cut off by reclining couches that have been thrown into the ocean.
because 90% of statistics are made up.
That's
Like,
true.
for example, I just made up that statistic.
Do you know
That's how you know.
87% of statistics might be true? Isn't that kind of
exactly.
mad?
You never know. Exactly,
know?
which falls into my previous one of all 90% of
Oh, it's true.
statistics are
Actually,
made
yeah,
up.
that's kind of weird the way that turns into like an umbrella effect. Anyway,
Exactly, you know.
moving on from pain and gore and injury and pestilence and death. Any other memes, Ryan? I got another meme. If you don't have a meme ready.
Hold on. One thing for me, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was having a think there, and I was like, what are just this is an awful segue, by the way. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't link in any way.
Segue.
This doesn't link in any way. This isn't a clever way of moving it. Anyway, what
No.
are like any traits in people that just fucking piss you off? Any like I don't know, anything that people do that just fucking annoy you. For me, I'll give you an example, right? For me, people who just like chew loudly.
Just with their mouth open.
Yeah, people who just chew.
One of those kind of guys.
That shit. You're just sitting down and you're like, what are you fucking like? My brother is the worst.
My brother.
My brother is the worst.
I love the way
ever met.
this podcast is never like an actual. I don't know. Whenever we ask a question, it's like I needed some excuse to piss and moan about my brother on a public platform. So I got to think of some bullshit question so I can like shoehorn it in.
Now my brother's a sound guy. He's a little bit weird. I don't know if I trust him.
I don't know if I trust him.
He chews very loudly.
Evie bastard.
And like if you see him pouring out a bowl of cereal, just leave the room. Like,
just run. Like
no, I can't be in the same room.
Yeah.
He's developed this thing lately where he'll take his dinner up to his room, which is kind of worrying, and I hope he's all right. But I'm also like, thank fuck, get out of my sight, because he's so fucking loud.
I eat my dinner in my room like every day.
Yeah.
Family does not eat together. Cannot be.
I'm just so lazy because I'll just forget to bring down the plate, and then I'll just have a fucking like shit ton of plates in my room.
Stinky
so I'm like,
room.
I better just eat downstairs.
Do you ever leave food in your room and you're just like being a lazy fuck, especially if it's like Chinese or something, and the next day your room just like smells like a takeaway?
No, I used to do it all the time. I remember one time I spilled an Actimel on my locker in school, and I didn't realize it until I was moving all my stuff out at the end of the year, and the back of my locker was just fucking green. Man,
remember, did you like keep a sandwich in one or a banana or something? You kept some other food type in a locker, and I remember then we came back after summer or something, and you just like took it out, and it was black.
Maybe
I think it was like a sandwich, actually. Yeah,
that's very probable. But I definitely did it with an Actimel once.
God damn, you're so disrespectful to food, Ryan. I remember. I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna call out your whole family right now. I remember. Now, sounds very snobbish, though. Actually, it's not really a calling out. It's just like I think I'm better than pre-made stuff. But I remember I used to go to your house, and then like your mom was making dinner, and she was like, "I'm making lasagna." I don't know why this doesn't connect.
I want to point out. I just want to say this to people out here, man. This fella has been on my fucking back. Like this Andrew fella.
I've been talking about this for probably 7 or 8 actual years, and it still fucking bugs me. It still fucking bugs me. Time. Ryan's family, I don't know, I can't speak to it to today's standards, but Ryan's family was like the fucking pre-made lasagna family. I went to his goddamn I trusted him and his mother. I was a minor. I was putting my life in an adult's care. And I went there and he was like, "Oh, we're having lasagna. You're going to be in a lovely dinner." I'm like, "Oh, I love lasagna." Mwah. Fucking bienvenue. I don't know why I said that. But then I got it and it was like a pre-made lasagna out of a little tub. And I sound super elitist and very snobbish, but it's just the fact that it's like, oh my God, this is so awful, you know? And like, you were just sitting there like, it's fine. What do you mean? This is good. This is Gordon Ramsay. What the fuck? Bro, get over it. And I was like, okay. And I got over it and I ate the whole thing and I felt sick. Do you know? But then we had cheesecake and that was fucking lit. So
do you understand how much kind of chicken goujon you sound like right now?
Ryan, I swear to God, just because you are a McDonald's pre-fried chicken nugget and I'm a bit more of a chicken tender, maybe from KFC, I'm the family bucket. Just because you think I'm snobbish does not mean you can validate pre-packaged lasagna.
That I want to point out to everyone. Obscenity. That lasagna is fine.
Obscenity.
Just being a fucking yuppie. that lasagna was perfectly fine.
Ryan, do you know how little and possibly as much of a yuppie that I am? I don't even know what yuppie means.
Oh, yuppie is basic.
You said it last episode, and I went fuck off just because I knew it was an insult.
Hold on, I'm gonna look up the actual I know what
you
it
don't
means,
even know. This is the he just says shit. He just eats pre-made lasagna, and then he just fucking says words.
Basically, a yuppie is someone who's like fucking middle class, but like thinks they're higher class and wants to be upper class. I'm gonna look up the actual definition.
I'm not middle class.
What are you?
I'm poorer than you.
Oh.
Neither of my parents bring an income. Neither do I. We're all fucked.
Definition.
They've got physical ailments that prevents them from doing so. And I'm just kind of dumb.
Definition.
I'm too hyped up now.
Where's the fucking definition?
I'm too hyped up now. The fucking pre-made lasagna. And like the smell off it. And I'm like, I was spending more time spooning grease out of the fucking plate. Oh my God. And then she made a lovely, to be fair, fresh, homemade,
my wonderful girlfriend now makes a Whopper lasagna.
Exactly. See, Ryan, you've been pulled from the gutters. You found a decent woman to claw you out of the dredges that you were living in. And you still have the audacity to say to me, it's fine. Fuck's sake. What's next, Ryan?
Huh? It's absolutely fine.
When you have, like, if you decide to have children, are you just going to buy one pre-made? Go up to the counter, be like, yeah, get that one. Huh? That's not a comparison. I'm just too amped up. I can't climb down from the energy now.
I'm so bored of this lasagna conversation, man. We've been having this conversation for about fucking 7-something years now. Honestly,
I know. God, and you never
goes that far back.
And you never satisfy me, just like your girlfriend. Okay, moving on. I actually don't care that much. It's just kind of funny because I've been harping on about it for so long. But did I interrupt you?
We were talking about trait that fucking.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Have you got
people who eat pre-made lasagnas. No, I don't know. Oh, I think social media people. You know, people that's just like their entire life is on social media. They post every aspect of their life on social. Like I'll post the odd thing. Like there's a pretty there's a tree in my front garden that looks pretty, and I post a picture of that. But even like people who post, someone who gets shout outs for their birthday on Instagram, and then they repost every single person posting about their birthday on Instagram. Or like,
it's a fucking annoying.
Follow for follow, all that kind of stuff. I just hate social media. And all of it's intrinsically. I don't know. I'm not even going to try. I'm a chicken nugget.
Also, there's a thing about that is like, I get what you mean completely with like people who are like too into social media. Like there's a fine balance there. There's a fine balance there because I also equally hate people who think they're better than you because they're not on social media.
Yeah.
Because then, they're equally as bad.
I hate Twitter. Okay, this is the one. Okay, I'm going to sit on, I'm going to die on this hill. People who just like being offended. Mm-hmm. So like, if someone says a joke to me and it's kind of in bad taste or it's kind of stupid, but they had the intention of just trying to make a joke and just trying to be like, haha. But then you have someone that goes, that's not funny. Actually, I don't think joke police people or just that kind of area of like political. Like, that's why I fucking hate Twitter, because there's just someone getting pissed off about. I just hate people who just need to be angry about something or someone to feel validated. I'm just too chill for that. That's mine.
Twitter has kind of like I love Twitter. It's definitely my favorite social media platform.
I like
it's probably the only one I use. It's probably the only one I actually use. I'm not on Reddit. I am on Reddit, but I don't actually understand it. I don't.
On Reddit?
I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook anymore. I'm Snapchat. I don't use. Twitter is the only one I actually actively use. But even then, like my Twitter feed is just football and memes. That's literally it. And I hate people being like, "Oh, my feed is so negative," whatever. Just like that is obviously tailored towards you. You can change that.
Yeah,
that you can change that.
You want to normalize?
It's so depressing.
Because like Twitter's always just like, what are we normalizing today? And it's like basically hate speech. I don't know.
Like football. So therefore, I get football on my page. And like for example, there was a while ago, like the whole Black Lives Matter movement was really popular at the time. And I was following it and I was supporting it. But after a while, it does start to wane on you, just having this depressing news over and over and over again. And as sad as it was, and I was like, okay, I need to like block some of these pages and stuff like that, because it's just that's all that is I'm consuming. And so you can tailor that, you can completely change that.
Mm.
So when people are like,
It's
oh, social media is so depressed, and you can that's your fault. You can change that
that's an
very
like
easily.
because like obviously because like I'm studying journalism and shit. That's something we learned about of like there's a especially with COVID, there's a really what would you call it? There's a trend that's been developing over the last year. And it's just like I know I'm gonna say it super quietly because I don't know where she is. My mother does this a lot. Just the overconsumption of news,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So I just mean the example of like I have people in my course who would just have to stop reading the news for certain days or whatever, or just zoning out because there is just so much shit going on. I feel like people have been saying this for ages. The last year of COVID has felt like 10 years at once. Like so much, and like with Trump and all and that kind of shit as well. So much shit has happened and that people are just consuming so much information and news stuff about China, stuff about the virus spreading more, stuff about America and Russia, and all this like big scary shit. Where in reality, it's like none of this shit really applies to you, but you feel like it does, or you feel like you have to be up to date, or as like at least me, I find myself like I had to read something for an article and I was going through loads of the what we talked about the other week of stop Asian hate and all that kind of stuff. And I was just seeing video like there's a video of some lad like doing a running jump kick to an old Asian man in a wheelchair and he like cracked his head open and he was in hospital and I was reading all about this stuff. And it's just like when I came away from it all then and I finished my story, I was like, I am so fucking bummed, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And it's like people have to be so careful. I think I'm going on a big tangent now, but people have to be so careful of like, especially with the social media feeds, just you need to switch off sometimes because your brain, the way it's designed is your brain thinks you need to be up on all of these different causes or, you know, if it's anything from transgender rights to Black Lives Matter. And it's like, listen, support them, but don't like lose yourself in it, you know? Keep your sanity intact. Anyway.
No, like definitely, and that's what I mean. Like when people say, like when I said there a second ago that I had to block a load of pages or mute a load of pages, but
Yeah.
like when the Black Lives Matter movement was, at the height of it, like this time last year, really.
Mm.
Um, as there's
Last
some
summer.
people that listen to this and go, "Oh my God, Ryan doesn't fucking care about them issues," or Ryan, and it's like that's feeding into the narrative of you constantly need to be offended or you constantly need to find a flaw with everything. Like just
Mm.
because you're passionate about something, or like for example, I love football. That's my feed, but
Mm.
not everything I do in my daily life is football. Football, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And where if every, that's what I mean. Where it got to a stage where my constant feed was just this stuff, and as passionate as I am about it, and as much as I completely understand it, we're not as humans. We're not meant to receive that much information constantly on a regular basis. Like
Yeah. Like if you think
same
of
with the, you
sorry,
know.
go on. I was
No,
gonna
I'm
say
saying
if,
same with the news. Like people, you can't just sit there and just watch
yeah,
the news
yeah, of
all fucking
course.
day. Like you blow your fucking head off.
But even if you
It's that simple.
bring it back to fucking caveman times, think about you're in like your tribe, you're in a particular area of a country or whatever. Like you're going to be concerned about the food, the water, building resources, whatever, to keep your own shit running. You don't give a fuck about the tribe that's 2 miles down the river and what the fuck they're doing. Oh shit, they're out of food. Fuck. Are we going to run out of food? Do we have enough water as well? Are our building fortifications strong enough? Blah 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 blah. You know, it's like we're not designed. Even in our reptile brains or lizard brains, we're just not designed to be a constant stream. Our brain isn't a constant stream of information. We need to digest, compartmentalize, if that's a word, and focus on what's important. So anyway, I've got another
Another
meme.
thing,
Oh,
Oh, sorry. One second. While we're tying in here, another thing that bothers me is when people people are like, "I'm too good for social media,"
mm-hmm.
and it's just about it's like having a healthy relationship with technology anyway. But it's like people are like, "Oh, I'm going off Twitter. I'm going off Twitter and all that stuff." My screen time is just far too high, guys. My screen time is far too high. You know yourself. Like, no, fuck that shit. Fuck social media, right?
Fuck
And
off.
then you're like, "All right, what you do?" So yeah, I decided to take a break from social media, guys. I took a break. All right, what you get up to then? Oh, I just watched the film, and then I just played some FIFA,
Yeah,
and I'm like, so
yeah,
you're still sitting in front of a screen.
yeah.
That's still screen time. Just because you don't have a thing on your phone that's telling you exactly the percentage of, you're still sitting at a screen. You've replaced the screen with another screen. You're not better than me.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
not better
that's
than
it. I
me.
suppose
That's what it all comes
exactly
down to, Ryan. You're not better
it
than
is.
me.
Exactly, that's it. You know, we're all in the same boat, and you do whatever you do to get by your daily life, and whatever you use as a coping mechanism, that is completely fine. But you are no better than anyone else that is using Twitter or something responsibly and help. You know,
The last
so
thing I'll
people who are like,
say,
yeah. Anyway, go on.
the last thing I'll say, just on the basis of traits that piss me off, the very last thing I'll say is people who make a particular cause, notion, or idea like the core of their being
Hmm.
really, really bothers me.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
it's like
that's
she's
it.
never going to listen to this. Remember back in the day, there was that one person who we were in school with, and her entire personality was, I'm diabetic.
Oh, geez, yeah,
Now
yeah, yeah.
that's kind of like I'm kind of gunning for her. That's unfair. That's a bit of a
Hmm.
swipe at a lovely woman. But it's just that kind of thing of like, okay, but there's other things to worry about and to do. Like, can you not? I don't want to talk about this. You know?
Hmm. But no,
Yeah.
no, specifically
Well,
short girls. Short girls love that they're short. That's their
that's
only
true.
gag. That's their
That's
only personality trait. They're
yeah.
short.
That's kind of true. I mean, or it's just like I don't know, get thrown around the gaff kind of meme. Anyway, we'll move on to the next one now. I got a list here, Ryan. It's
Okay.
just I don't know if you've ever seen this list, but it's just like Irish slang
Okay.
versus what the rest of the world means.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna run through this with you real quick, and then we'll just talk about it, I guess.
Hmm.
So when the rest of the world would say that's very good, we would say that's grand. And then if we
The
said
beauty of the word
oh,
grand.
grand. Like it's
Grand can
fucking
mean fucking
brilliant.
anything.
It's like aloha, but
It's
times
like
10.
I think there was a Blind Boy podcast where he broke the word grand down, and he basically said that like it's because Irish people never really learned how to process emotion. Like our like we
That makes
constantly
sense,
like for the
historically
last couple of
speaking.
hundreds of years we've kind of been oppressed, and it's just that we've developed this way of being able to deal with things without ever addressing emotions. Like there's a way like you like like what's how are you? I'm grand. Grand can mean that I'm not great, or grand can mean I am great. And we also don't tend to address things by their name. Or
Yeah.
people are, I was out with me mate, or I was out with me missus, or I was out with me, me dad. You know what I mean? We don't like to
Yeah.
associate, and stuff like that. And I think that's just the word grand. It's just built in our language where we don't have to associate too much emotion with stuff.
Which I think is kind of a unique skill set of Irish people. Well, I feel like with COVID, we've kind of taken that mentality of be grand a bit too far, as we can
Hmm.
see with like people just being fucking morons and like drinking on the street, going to gaffers, and like crowding in crowds of 100 in parks and shit like that. So it's kind of a two-way thing where it can be we are generally very laid back and easy to get along with kind of people, but sometimes we take it a bit too far and it's like I don't give a fuck about anything. Now, so next one. So then surprisingly good, of course, is grand. And then good is grand. Okay is grand. Not okay is grand. Bad is grand. Feeling a bit down is grand. Depressed is grand.
Yeah.
Now, it varies a bit here now. So we've got gas crack, and that's CRAIC. So that's funny or entertaining. And I think like I'm not gonna look it up because that ruins the mystery. Where the fuck does gas crack come from? Like crack is
I
fun in Irish, but what's gas? Why is
It's
that?
strange. It's strange, like when I hear people like this, like specifically Americans are like, "Oh, what's that?" Like, and it's so
Yeah.
strange to actually question because that's just like day-to-day language for me
Hmm.
to have to think, what does that actually mean? And that's just I've always said that, like from all my life, I've said grand, and to
Yeah.
suddenly now as an adult be like, what's that mean? I'm like, I don't actually know. Like gas, where did that come? I know exactly what it means,
Yeah.
gas
I
crack,
it's this thing
but
of like not
where's
knowing
its
the
origin?
definition, but definitely knowing the usage is
Hmm.
a very Irish thing. So like gas
Like don't.
crack, I assume like maybe laughing gas or something
Hmm.
associated with that because it's like makes it funny. But it's a weird one. Crack again is obviously Irish for fun or whatever, so that's
Hmm.
not too hard to figure out. So the next one is I will, yeah, which means I won't.
I absolutely won't. That means I
Now
absolutely won't.
I've used it occasionally to be like I will, yeah, 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 as in like I'll get to it in like a month, you know. But
Yeah.
no, it pretty much is like a polite way of saying I'm gonna say yeah, but I'm just gonna hope you don't care that much that I just don't have to say I won't, you know.
I'm probably not gonna do that thing that you're asking me. You
That's a
know,
big Irish thing
that's
as well. Is like commitment. Like obviously, like we're.
mhm.
I mean, not like relationships and shit like that, but just like events, going out. Like the amount of times someone has said to me, like, give me a week notice. Hey, we're all gonna go out for drinks. Like it happens so much in college. We're like, hey, we're gonna go out for drinks and whatever, do whatever, some other shit. And I'm like, fuck, that sounds so cool. I'm buzzed. Let's do it. And then it gets to that day, and I'm like, wow, I have 46 things to do that I just thought of. I'm sorry, I can't make it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't make it. I'm too busy thinking of an excuse not to go. You know.
Literally, man, that's exactly it. Or
Um, what is the
one of my
net?
favorites is like tying in what I will. Yeah, it's when we're like, I will
Yeah,
now in a minute. Like, how can
yeah.
you do something like in the present and future tense at the same
I will
time?
now in a minute, which
Yeah,
again can mean I'll get it. I'll get to it tomorrow. You know,
I could do it tomorrow. It could be a week. You know, who
it could
fucking
be. I
knows
could
at
go
this
back
stage?
in time. It could be
Yeah,
yesterday. I do
could be
this.
yesterday. Yeah, literally.
So the next one is I'll let you go, which I personally, I don't know how you use this, but I whenever I go, okay, well look, I'll let you go. I gotta head off now. That always means I I really need this conversation to end right now,
Hmm.
but I don't know how to. I can't just be like, stop, done. So I'm
Yeah,
just gonna go.
no,
I'll let you go. I'm the one
yeah.
that's impeding you. When in reality, it's like, shut the fuck up talking. I've got somewhere to go.
Specifically on the phone as well. I'll use that a lot. Like, Asher, I'll let you go
Yeah.
because I'm not actually having to look at the person I'm speaking to when I say it.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
like when we finish recording for this podcast and we're just in the Zoom talking, I will say, "All right, well, look, I'll let you go,"
yeah,
which means
literally.
Ryan, we've been friends for upwards of 8 years, but I don't know how to go. Okay, anyway, I'm done talking to you. This conversation has ended. Goodbye.
But we must be friends about 10 years now.
I don't want to think about that. It's too much.
We must be.
9 years.
We made
No,
each other
no,
when I was
9 years. No,
9.
8 years. We started school.
No,
No, 10 years. Because we
10.
started school in
Jesus.
2011 and we were friends in first year, and it's 2021
Hmm.
now. Fucking cock and dick and nuts and balls.
Yeah,
Anyway,
about 10. You're approaching 10 years anyway. Say 12 years in about 10
um,
years in about
10
August.
years,
August.
10 years and some
Yeah,
pocket change. So
mad,
there's three more.
mad.
I'll finish this up now. And
Go
then the
on.
next one is, sure, this is it, which is
Should
like,
I?
it's the most, like, it's the most nothing statement. And I've said it
Mm.
before, where like my mom will say something to me and I just don't know how to engage. I have no knowledge on the subject. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And I'll just go, sure, yeah, look, this is it, isn't it? Like, what does that? I
Um,
mean, it's so
as I've said
substanceless.
this. Irish people can have a conversation that like doesn't actually consist of anything. Like you'll be like,
Yeah.
Ash, sure, look, you wouldn't know what to be doing, you wouldn't. And like,
No,
Asher, you
you
know
wouldn't,
yourself.
sure. Yeah, of
Like, what
course.
did I actually say there?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
It,
Nothing was
it,
said.
it ties in then with the next one. Actually, I'm gonna save this one for last. There's another one that says, "I'll be there in a minute," which for
Mhm.
Irish people, I do feel it's like I haven't even showered, man.
Yeah, no.
You know.
I might be there in a minute. Like, it means I'm literally, I only out of bed. Like,
Well, to be honest, it's a very Andrew thing of me. Not
oh
speaking
God.
of third person, like Ryan could tell you the amount of times where like we're just going to do like just going to the cinema or
Mhm.
something or just whatever the fuck just does not take much preparation, and I'm just like, yeah, man, I'm just gonna be 1 minute, I'll be down now. And Ryan is like, right, so I'll leave in half an hour because there's no fucking
Look,
chance.
man, I got to a stage where I used to lie to you about the times, the
Yeah,
movies.
yeah,
Um, because like you used to be like, oh, why do we have to go at this time? Like, because that's when the movie starts.
yeah,
It's so you don't miss the beginning of the,
yeah.
you know.
But I just
Um,
be late, and then we just get
yeah.
in as soon as the ads finish.
So I used to like, let's say the film was starting at like 4. I tell him it starts at 5 because knew he wouldn't be there by 4.
That's the thing though,
You know.
as well, of like I'm not even like I can't be arsed or like fuck off. I don't want to be there on time. You just cannot rush me.
Hmm.
Like obviously there's some events that cause for a bit of urgency, but I'm just not a very urgent man. I'm just like I'll get there. You know, everything's still
Oh, I
gonna be
know.
there. But
I know.
I still need to break out of this habit because like I remember my
Mm.
last job, I was late so often, and like wouldn't mind. I would usually start at like 6 p.m. because I just did the dinner shift.
Yeah, you're mad. You're mad.
I'm just a dumb fuck. Anyway, the last one here now is the coveted and absolutely like Irish adored Sherlock.
Oh,
My
my favorite.
God,
My
sure,
favorite.
sure, this is it. If that wasn't substanceless enough, Sherlock is the absolute like. Oh, do you see that thing that happened on the news there? Yeah, 20 people died. Yeah, it's fucking mad, isn't it? Ah, yeah, Sherlock. That's what
Sure, look,
happens.
know.
Sherlock.
Beautiful.
It's so good. I can't explain it. I met an American
Mhm.
once, and it was like, "What do you mean, Sherlock? What does that mean?" And I'm like, I mean,
I don't know.
I'm just, uh, it's a place marker. I don't know. It's an acknowledgement that you have said a sentence, and
I
that's
feel like
about it.
it's the equivalent of saying like that's crazy. I feel like
Yeah,
that's I
yeah.
think that's the
It kind of
closest.
is. It's getting
God,
closer to that.
that's crazy,
Where
man.
it's like, oh
You know,
wow, man, that's mental. Like, wow. And it's
sure
like,
look,
oh
you know.
wow, sure. Look, yeah. I mean, what can you
Yeah.
do? Or that's like, I always use it in tandem with like, sure. Look, yeah. I mean, what can you do? You can do
Mhm.
so many things. There's so many options available to
What
you. But I don't want to dive into that topic. Thank you.
I am no, but I absolutely love Sherlock and Grand. They're my two. Grand is just it's just fucking no other country in the world has a word like that that is so versatile.
And so much of it is
I
sorry, so much of it is based on like inflection or like the cadence
Mhm.
of how you say it. So if it's like even with the first couple of the list, like if you said grand, yeah, like that's actually probably positive. Or it
Mhm.
could be you expected it to be bad, but it was actually pretty good. But then if you go grand, that's like, oh fuck, that's cool. I'm excited.
He's yeah. He's
But then
actually
if you're just like, yeah, whatever, it's fucking it's yeah, it's grand. It's just like I don't yeah, whatever. I don't care. You know? Anyway,
it's definitely my favorite word in the Irish kind of like fucking
linguistic
what? Yeah, that shit.
colloquialisms.
That's the word I was looking for.
Isn't that such a
Colloquialism.
fucking sexy word?
I could not for the life of me remember it. Thank God you said it.
I know.
Um, but no, that's it.
They call me Mr. English speaking.
That's it. Sure, look, you
That's
know.
it. Sure, look,
I
anyway,
didn't even
just
even think it.
this is it. Like this.
That's it. You know.
Anyway, Ryan, I'll let you go.
That's crazy. That's
Any other memes there now?
no. I think I'm all out. I think I'm all out. I have a few, but I think I'll save them for the next episode because we've been talking for a while.
We're
A
on
few
46
closing.
minutes. I think we're chilling. I want to
Hmm.
bring up one thing because
Go on.
I am excited to talk to you about this. It's a Marvel thing, but we're not going to do a big Marvel segment. Wait, I
Okay.
think we'll save that for next time. Um, WandaVision. Do you finish it?
Okay. I did. Did you finally finish it?
I watched it through. Remember I was saying, I think I said on the podcast as well. I was struggling to get into it.
Hmm.
I just don't fuck with the old timey like,
Yeah.
da, 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 da. You know what I
Yeah. That
mean?
shit.
I don't know. I struggled to get past that hurdle, and I honestly kind of like did like 10-second skip thing a couple of times in the first episode. But as things, oh yeah, full spoilers. If you haven't seen it, just stop listening because it's the last thing we're going to talk about. Um, so I fucking have no idea what I'm going to say. Oh yeah. So as I started getting into it and realizing shit was going down, I at first was a bit bemused with the idea that she's been taken captive by some other witch bitch. But then when I realized it was like a manifestation of her own grief and sorrow and inability to process emotions over a traumatic event, I was like, okay, Marvel,
Yeah, it was
fucking
something. It
go
was something
off.
cool. It was something like that. That's one thing about that I'll give it was. So I was delighted at you because I was saying to people watching it, I was like, that like just give it a chance. I was saying I watched the first two episodes,
Yeah.
and then I went like I watched the first two episodes in a row. I just sat down, watched the first two episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I was really late to start WandaVision,
Mm-hmm.
and then I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it again for like the fucking week. And then I was like, oh, I've got literally nothing else to watch. I'll give it a go. And then I got hooked, got into it, like,
Yeah.
you know. But what I will say is though that it needed to be something different for a series,
Mm-hmm.
and because we've seen so many like we've seen like 10 plus what's it 15 movies or something in the MCU, we needed
Probably.
something different, and all them movies are of the all different in but a
It's a
very
superhero
similar
movie, like.
style,
Like
very
that's what
similar style.
yeah.
So they needed its own intellectual property for this series if it was to work. They needed their own kind of feel to it, and I think
Yeah.
that they got that right. So even though I wasn't entirely hooked in the first couple of episodes, it was something different that the MCU did, and then
Yeah.
it got even better than as it went on.
Mm.
Um, it was just something cool to see, and the fact that you can see the actual. It was the first time really we've seen the kind of emotional struggles that the
Yeah.
actual Avengers have gone through. Usually it's like, oh, okay, then they beat the bad guys, that's it, blah blah blah, and then it moves
Oh,
on.
happy,
And this is
happy.
the first time you've seen the repercussions of what has happened
Mm-hmm.
within Endgame and after that, which is pretty cool.
The only gripe I had was like the witch battle at the end. I didn't really care for that. I was
It
just
was a
kind
bit
of like,
silly.
I was just
It
like,
was.
I guess it is still a Marvel property. There has to be some
Mm.
blowout battle or whatever.
It became a bit too Marvelly then, if that made sense. It kind
That's
of just fell back into its old ways,
just the way you
which
talk
didn't
about
really
your,
interest me.
yeah, just the way you talk about the hook that they had. You know, with like, what would you call it? What was it called? Fucking Wizard Boy, Benedict Cumbersnatch,
Oh, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. I said Snatch. Fuck. He, the ending of that movie wasn't this big grandiose like boss battle. It was him like cooking the enemy into
Yeah.
just giving up just with the whole time loop thingy.
Hmm.
And I
So
really
cool.
enjoyed that. And I find myself coming back to that scene every now and then, just because, as you say, it's a breakaway from the norm for, because Marvel, I feel like they've essentially not created, but definitely refined the superhero like genre of movies. Like it's become something of a formula with slight alterations, give or take. But then again with WandaVision, as you say, with the emotion, I've never seen a Marvel property. I was thinking of Thor Ragnarok, where they have that elevator scene with Loki, and
Yeah.
he's like, you know that thing where he's like, I thought the world of you, blah blah blah. Like I thought we were going to be side by side, and then there's like a real emotional moment in there. Like I sometimes I find myself starving for shit like that, to like
Hmm.
for reasons to give a shit about the characters. And I have to say, after watching WandaVision, I am much more endeared to the character of Wanda. You know, I
Yeah.
like, damn.
Especially with like this, it's a character that was kind of thrown in there in
Mm.
Age of Ultron, and her brother was his Quicksilver. What's
Mm-hmm.
his actual name? I can't remember his real name. He,
Peter. Or was it Peter?
uh,
Peter.
yeah, him, yeah, Pietro. That's
Pietro, that's the one.
he fucking dies in Age of Ultron,
Pretty
and
unceremoniously.
I can't. I'm like, why am I supposed to feel sad? He's been like thrown in here. He's had
Yeah,
like
it was
three
peppered
scenes
in.
where the whole time he's just kind of like just this brooding asshole, and then he dies, and I'm supposed to just feel sad. I say Wanda, and you see Wanda's fucking what's it, like disgust, and even in Endgame, there was that meme that came out of like you took everything from me, and Thanos like I don't even know who you are, and it's just very fitting because that's why it was so funny was because yeah, who is this? Why does she have stakes in this battle? You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it's cool to finally get some backstory into Wanda Maximoff, um, and just see more of her, especially Vision. Vision didn't really get a lot of
No,
screen
I'm
time, and
still kind of hoping we get
he
like a Vision movie, to be honest.
yeah, because we got him. He came into Age of Ultron near the end,
Yeah,
and then
even though it's supposed to be
that
about
was
him,
that
essentially.
was it. He came very near the end. He helps them with the kind of final boss battle, another fucking boss battle,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's like very briefly in Civil War. I feel like he's not really a major part in that,
He's in the
and
fight
then
scene, I think.
he dies in Infinity Game. Oh, Infinity
Infinity
Game.
Game.
He dies in Infinity War, and he's not in Endgame at all. And it's just kind of like this big build up to this fucking like he's supposed to be like this god, intellectual being. That's just this like he's
Bin.
literally a live being. I can't talk.
Intellectual
He's like
trash
a
can.
yeah, literally. Marvel, get on this.
Let's
We
go.
need this an intellectual being, but he's like a
Yeah,
living computer. And I feel like they could have used him more, but
yeah.
they just kind of let him waste. So it's cool to finally get more of him as well in one division.
I do wonder what's the culmination of him, because obviously I think once he tries to escape and you realize, oh, of course, he's a complete like figment of her imagination. Like, of course, he can't
Hmm.
leave this sphere that she's created. And you realize then that Vision, like, he is still dead, you know? This
Yeah,
lovely glimpse, and you kind of almost holding on to, because I really like the character Vision. I love
yeah,
that
I
guy,
like
Paul
him well.
Bettany, though. I think he's a great actor. So to see him then be more fleshed out and sort of come around to realizing that he's not even real, was kind of like heartbreaking, honestly. And
Yeah,
then I do wonder though, you remember the White Vision then?
yeah.
Like I can't remember if he dies or if he just fucked off somewhere, you
I
know?
think he just fucked off, so they could
So I wonder if that will culminate some fucking how. I don't know. We'll have to see anyway.
as a way
Um
of like bringing Vision back into the MCU. Could be
yeah,
good.
because I mean they're obviously gonna do it with fucking, I mean, if you see the trade, we'll talk about this next week. But like they're obviously gonna do this with fucking Black Widow or some shit. Like some characters
Hmm.
are bound to come back. Anyway, basically to wrap up, WandaVision really happily surprised with how it all came around. It was really like much more emotional journey than you're used to with a Marvel property. So be sure to check it out. And unless you have anything else, Ryan, I think we're good to wrap up around 54 minutes.
I think, man, I'm bored.
Okay, can you stop saying? You've said that like 3 times. This is your pod. Like, this is our podcast. You don't have to fucking do this.
Guys, this is class, guys.
Is this how we're going out now? Am I giving out to you now, and that's how we're going out? Fine.
Guys.
Everybody, thanks, I guess, for fucking watching. I don't know. This podcast sucks. All right. We'll talk to you next week. Check out the links in the social. Tip your waitresses. Tell your mom she looks nice today. All right. Goodbye.
Guys, thanks for tuning in, guys. You've been great. Tune in next week for another episode, and we'll let you go.